So if you watched the last video that I posted, kind of shared with you guys that, you know, I'm just not doing the best. Certainly not the best based off of previous history of, you know, my health. And I'm about to head off to Colorado for a trip up in the mountains to go backpacking. Tend to do that at least once a year. And even though I've done this many times and collected a lot of data that I have not shared with you, probably will in the future, I just wanted to kind of come out to the park, get a baseline for, hey, what is my heart doing? How do I feel when I go up to the park and hike a few miles? So I know from experience that if I hike more than 2 miles or 10 miles, that's not really going to matter. Not here on flat ground. If you get up to the mountains, that's a different story. But I just want to kind of see where I'm at so I can show you that for me personally, you know, just to kind of recap my last episode, I could go to Philmont right now based off my weight, but I wouldn't be riding horses, so that gives you a little window of what my weight looks like. And I haven't been feeling awesome, you know, I'm just getting older and your body changes. And so it'll be interesting to see what this trip looks like. And so what I thought I'd do is come out and take a little walk, kind of see what my heart rate's doing. I'm wearing my trusty Garmin watch, Phoenix, and we'll see what the heart rate looks like. And right now I'm cruising at a whopping 115 beats a minute, which is not very much for me. So I'm gonna walk a few miles here and then we'll just see what we're doing, how we feel afterwards. And then we'll go up to the mountains, do it again, and we'll go from there. Okay, coming up towards the end of my hike, and as suspected, because I know my body pretty well, my current heart rate is 122, walking at an average speed of 2.7 miles an hour. And I know, just because I know my body really well from all the years of racing, that my heart rate will climb pretty quick and then it'll plateau out within about 30 minutes, if not faster, depending on what I'm doing, of course. But I knew if I was hiking today, it'd plateau out at about 30 minutes, and it probably wouldn't change, and that's been the case. I'm obviously hiking on flat ground. I'm not climbing mountains. I'm not at altitude, and I'm walking. So if I was doing a more energetic activity like running, you know, cycling really fast. Cycling's about the same as walking, but because I have a slow cadence. But anything climbing hills, or if I was at altitude, over time my heart rate might climb. Just kind of depends. But anyways, just to check in, just to see how I'm doing. Everything's doing great. Again, the whole point of this exercise was to get a feel for a benchmark, if you will. That's the word I'm looking for, a benchmark. To say, okay, let me have something to compare it to. So I'm about to go to the mountains, and let's see what it's like going to the mountains. And I have a fairly easy trip coming up, not a lot of miles per day, so this might be a good benchmark. I do have a fully loaded pack. I even have my bear can back there, fully loaded with food. That just itself weighs 10 pounds. 4 days worth of food and the bear can. That's 10 pounds just by itself. I got a full load out of water, which is 2.5 quarts of water on me, plus all my stuff. So if you're gonna do a test, this would be the way to do it. I got everything. I'm even wearing the clothes that I'd be wearing, right? So everything in the shoes, I wear shoes mostly. So everything is as it would be when I was, when I'll be going to the mountains on my trip. So here we are, we're coming up to the end. I have hiked essentially 2.5 miles. My current heart rate is 124. I do tend to have a little bit higher heart rate than most folks from all my years of racing. The calculations don't apply to me. My heart rate will go higher and I could sustain it at a higher heart rate. Not anymore, but I used to be able to. And I hiked an average of 2.7 miles an hour for about an hour. Covered 2.4 miles. Also did a lot of breaks to tweak stuff. So, but its average speed was 2.7 miles an hour. And here we are. We're back at the beginning. Feel pretty good. Not a lot I had to really tweak. A lot of this equipment I've had dialed in for years. There's just a few things here and there that I needed to tweak a little bit, but overall I could get on a plane right now and head out and be okay. So anyways, all right, we'll catch you on the flip side. Well, that's the end of this video. I appreciate you watching it all the way to the end. If you could hang out with me for just a few more seconds, I'd like to share some stuff with you. Thank you again for sharing this video with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and hit that like icon. Here are some important things to remember when you watch my videos. First, everything here is free. I want to invest the sometimes hundreds of hours to make these videos to pass on to you all that I've learned over the last 40 years spending time in Scouts and in the backcountry. And over those 40 years, I've been on adventures as both a youth and an adult. High adventure, like backpacking at Philmont, as a youth, introduced me to a world that I did not know existed. And scouting is a great way to try new things. And who knows, maybe your experience in scouting will give you a desire to spend more time in the outdoors in the backcountry. With regard to the information I share in these videos, all those years of camping and backpacking and paddling and skiing and mountaineering in both the summer and the winter gives me a pretty unique perspective. Now, I cannot possibly explain in great detail every nuance or situation that you may encounter. So the advice or the information in my videos is intended to be what would be most universally beneficial to a broad audience of skill level. Feel free to ask questions in the comments, but I do ask that you be respectful with your comments. If you do not truly have a comment that can benefit someone else, please keep it to yourself. And lastly, again, everything here is free. I've invested tens of thousands of dollars of my own money and literally thousands of hours putting together these videos. All I ask in return is maybe a kind comment. Just a simple thank you is nice. And then subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with 2 of your friends. That's it. And with that, have a blessed day.